Every day at Homeward Pet Adoption Center, we change lives. Lives of homeless cats and dogs, no matter what it takes. Time, training, surgery, socialization, we never give up. And by changing their lives, we change the lives of our adopters, people like you, forever. Anne Margaret was at Homeward Pet far too long. She'd arrived in the spring when the shelter is full of frisky young kittens. The older black and white cats seemed depressed and just kept getting overlooked. She waited nearly a year for a new home, but we never gave up.
I could have the worst day in the outside world and come home, and Anne Margaret greets me at the door, and my troubles just seem to disappear. She is just an incredible companion.
Wheatle was abandoned in a divorce, an older dog separated from the only family he'd known. At the shelter for months, Wheatle was adopted and returned 3 times, never finding just the right home, the constant change adding to his anxiety. But we never gave up on Wheatle, even when he had to wait another month for his perfect family to move into their new home.
He had been adopted and returned a few times, or tested kind of and returned a few times, and he had, you know, major cat aggression and some aggression towards guys and towards other. So we thought, you know, maybe it's going to be harder than we thought, but his history didn't really seem to matter. Once we got him home, we didn't see those things, and so we kind of thought maybe he was just grumpy and mean, so he was waiting for us. So
when Trooper was brought to Homeward Pet, we weren't sure he was going to make it. He weighed just 1 pound, his tail nearly severed, his eyes swollen shut from infection, but he never gave up. He was a trooper.
Comparing him to how he was when he first came to the shelter, scruffy and sick and injured, until now, he's just absolutely a gorgeous kitty. And I loved the idea that we could take a kitty into our home that had been through a lot. First time I saw him and reached in his cage, he started purring and rolled on his back and was just very affectionate and loving, and I just knew that we had found the kitty for our family.
Stanley came to us from another shelter. At 10 years old and weighing a whopping 123 pounds, nearly 60 pounds overweight, Stanley was unadoptable and would likely have been euthanized, but we wouldn't give up on him.
I had specifically been interested in looking at older dogs, and I liked that they didn't have an age policy on their adoptions and that they had a lot of dogs that other people would have given up on.
People were surprised that there was anyone there to see a big old fat dog who was overweight and 10 years old.
And he'd only been on the website, I think, 3 days at that point. You could tell right away that he had a really positive outlook on life. I mean, he was smiling all the time. And the very first thing he did when he walked up to me out in the garden was he just walked over and he just took his nose and put it under my hand.
I looked and I thought, this is our dog.
We're just every day we are glad that Homeward took a chance on him, because we can't imagine our lives without him.
They really wanted to give Stanley a shot, and that's the other shelter. He would have been killed otherwise. He would not be here today. So yeah, we are profoundly grateful to Homeward.
Never give up. It's the words we live by at our no-kill shelter, but it's a philosophy that doesn't come cheap. Providing food, shelter, vet care, rehabilitation, it takes time and it takes money. Your generous donation will mean that we never have to give up on any animal who comes through our door. Animals never give up on us, and with your help, Homeward Pet will never give up on them.